My name is Vivian, and today we'll be having a class on energy. I will be the one teaching, but Madame is the one that channeled the lesson plan. So let's begin. What is energy? Energy is an intuitive language that involves the interpretation of subtle nudges and expressions to translate what isn't being said but felt intuitively. Okay? Energy is a first language for all humans, but it's a language that we've forgotten that we speak. It's an intuitive language, and when one loses connection to themselves, they lose connection to their intuition. So they might be seeing something and perceiving something, but they might not address it, okay? Because some of us have been taught to see signs, read the room, but not assimilate and integrate what we are detecting. Others know how to read a room and act in line with what they've perceived, okay? I used to be the kind of person that could read a room, but pretend not to read because I'd been forced to pretend not to read situations, people, for my own protection, I guess. But as I started to unlearn that, I was like, oh my God, I can really, really pick up on things quick. Like, you don't need to tell me something, I can already feel it. Okay, so energy is spoken in metaphors to convey better understanding. People that speak in metaphors and analogies are clairvoyant, okay? So when you're clairvoyant, it means that you receive clear messages in your mind and you have vivid dreams that convey intuitive messages to you. So you find that some people, when they're explaining something, they just use it, they're so good at stringing metaphors together. I'm like that with my poetry and my writing. I love metaphors because metaphors are a form of energy. They're a form of delivering the message to you without talking too much. Yes. Okay. So let's move to types of energetic exchanges and states of being. The first one is the overextender. Who is an overextender? An overextender is somebody that has many cords stuck into different people, situations, and life experiences. Let's just say that you're somebody that feels that you are connected to so many things, that a lot of things are pulling your attention. So you're like this, you don't really have that connection to self or stability to self because this person wants your attention, this person wants you to do this thing for them, this person is holding this over you, this person is controlling you. You are just giving yourself to so many people, but you're not giving yourself to you. That's an overextender, okay? An overextender is also somebody that has weak boundaries. The second person is the mirror. Oh my God, one of the most what's the right word, sympathetic states of being, or one of the states of being that I sympathize with, okay? The mirror. The mirror is somebody that is most likely an empath, and a person that reflects to you aspects of you that you don't like, okay? Some of us are people that when we meet people, they give us this strong reaction, or suddenly they're so entitled to our energy, or they feel like they can just walk all over you, okay? That's because you are reflecting aspects of themselves that are the worst parts of themselves. So because they see it, but they don't know that they see it, they perceive it energetically, they react or respond in reflection to what they're perceiving. So you are the mirror. A lot of times I've seen people, especially like in this Lagos, you're just somewhere and all of a sudden you look and you see somebody eyeing you and you're like, from where? And honestly, it's because you're reflecting something that they don't like about themselves. So you're a mirror. And it's the thing about energy, like I said before, it's very subtle. So you might be like, I didn't even do anything, but energetically you are screaming to the person. So there's some people that their light triggers the shadows of other people, so they get strong reactions from those people. It's because you're a mirror, okay? The next one is the turtle. Now, the turtle is somebody that burdens are placed on and the person carries it for everybody, okay? Not only are you the one that people project on, you're also the one that people ascribe a lot of tasks and responsibilities to because they know that you do it for them without saying no. They're the ones that run you to the ground with how much they request from you without giving you so much in return, okay? That's the turtle. And as a result of that, you know how the turtle walks so slowly in its life, it walks so slowly, you tend to realize that your path or like your pace to move along your path is delayed or slowed down because of how much you're carrying for other people. The bird. Now, the bird is opposite of the turtle. The bird flies, okay? The bird flies because they're not carrying a lot of weight. There's less attachment to this material world, okay? And more attachment to the heart world. So, what is it that I really need? Where is it that I'm meant to go, okay? No need that. The bird is also somebody that vibrates higher. So, it's like they focus on feeling good, they focus on uplifting themselves, on encouraging themselves instead of wallowing. Then you have the cord cutter. The cord cutter is someone who, once they realize how much power they are giving away to different people in their lives, those people that are worth it, those people that are not worth it, okay, they start to cut the cords and realign their energy to where and who deserves it, okay, or where and who with that energy is creating something bountiful, because you don't want an imbalanced relationship. So a cord cutter is somebody that has realized, oh my god, these people are benefiting from me giving my power away to them. These people are benefiting from my weak boundaries. Okay, I'm calling my energy back to self and I'm only directing it to places that deserve it. Okay, that's the cord cutter. And honestly, when there's some relationships that you cut away from your life that you just feel like a burden has lifted, that's energy. Okay, so be aware of that. Which cords, or what are the cords in your life attached to people, places, jobs, things that are draining you, that you need to cut from your life? Think about that. Where do you need to realign your energy? Think about that. Then you have the uplifter. An uplifter is someone that even just being around them, your spirit feels uplifted. Your mood is risen. Okay, they encourage you without even doing anything. They don't even have to speak to encourage you. Their energy is just uplifting. They make you feel better about yourself. They make you feel free. They make you feel like, oh my god, I can actually be more than I've been limiting myself to be. That's the uplifter. They have such a high vibrational way of being and relating, an energetic state, so you feel uplifted as well. Then an energetic exchange is a compliment. When you meet someone and you love their outfit and you come to them and you're like, oh my gosh darling, I love your outfit, I love your hair. You've sent energy to someone and it's good energy. And if that person is in a good state of mind, they can receive that energy, internalize it, okay? Then they can now say, thank you so much, I appreciate it, in response. So that's even sending good energy back. There's some people that just say, oh, thank you, or there's some people that are like, they don't really take compliments. Those are kind of people that may not be as sure of themselves. So as a result, such a good energetic exchange is shut down. That's not your fault. However, these are the ways that energy can be exchanged. I give you a compliment, you accept it, you thank me for it, that's good. I give you a compliment, you're unable to accept it, you kind of shut down the conversation or the exchange. That's not my problem, okay? Or that's a neutral exchange. Let's just say that, because let's pretend that we're the kind of people that don't take offense to every single thing. Then you have speaking your truth, okay? Speaking your truth feels like you are using a sword to cut through a forest, okay? So let's say you're on a path now and it's like the path is covered by trees. No, the path is covered by branches and plants and all of that, and you just cut through it. That's what speaking your truth feels like. Like you're cutting cords with your tongue. Like you are allowing the free movement of words that are aligned with your heart to be said, okay? A lot of times when we swallow our truth, it's kind of like we are suffocating ourselves, because when we're then allowing the buildup of pressure from not talking. But when you speak your truth, it's like you're allowing free passageway of words and you're allowing free flow of energy, because you're not keeping something stuck inside of you, okay? Honoring your boundaries. Honoring your boundaries is like you have a castle, okay? And 3 people want to come into your castle lines, and you have 3 bodyguards at the gates of your castle, okay? Now, depending on how strong your boundaries are, these 3 people could enter your castle because your security is weak, or they could be prevented from getting in because your security is tight. Those are your boundaries. Now, imagine you having a security system, three bodyguards in front of your castle walls, and these 3 people are coming to your bodyguard, and then they prod your bodyguards and they push them. Imagine you come into contact with somebody that dishonors your boundaries by saying something, okay, that you don't like and that you feel is sort of like an insult to you, imagine that happening between those 3 bodyguards and those 3 strangers, and it's like, oh, this person has done this, they've pushed me, you know what, it's okay, just enter. You know, that's not honoring your boundaries, because honoring your boundaries would look like, let's say the 3 bodyguards fell to the ground because these people have pushed them. They stand up, they push back, they fight back because they're protecting their castle. That's what honoring your boundaries looks like. You're protecting you, which is your castle, okay? So whatever you don't feel is right, you honor it by speaking your truth. And so you use your truth like you're using a sword to cut down obstacles, okay? Think about that. Okay, so let's stop there and let's talk about cultivating intuition. The ways that you can cultivate your intuition is by reading between the lines. What is somebody saying, and what are they not saying? Take both of them into consideration and call it out. Because the thing is that a lot of us, we have conversations in which we read between the lines, but we don't say anything about what we read between the lines. It's not impactful if you read between the lines as well, know what somebody is saying between the lines and don't acknowledge it, okay? Calling attention to what you also heard between the lines is listening to your intuition and is making more of a difference in the conversation. I think a lot of times we hear something that somebody is saying between the lines and we try and pretend that it didn't happen, but you have to actually call it to attention in order for the communication to be stronger and more direct. Another way of cultivating intuition, taking notes of facial expressions, all right? What is somebody really saying with their lips and what is their face saying? Because I've had a lot of interactions with people that, you know, to my face, they're showing me that they're my friend, okay? But when you hear the words between, when you read between the lines, number one, and you just see that small micro aggressive or passive aggressive, you know, sneer in their face or furrow in their brow, you're just like, I don't really believe what this person is saying. Like, to my face, this person seems as though they're being sincere, but the facial expression, the energy in between the words isn't really in line with what they're trying to convey or portray. That's you cultivating your intuition. Another one is reading a room. I mentioned reading a room already. It's just like being in a place, intuitively tapping into what things are being emitted in terms of energy and understanding what the room is all about. Does that make sense? It's about reading a room. Energy is about reading. Read what you're feeling intuitively. That's literally what it is. Now, another one is listening to your body. That's another way that you can cultivate your intuition. You listen to your body through its nudges. So listen to your body. It can give you some sort of alarms, discomfort, your gut feeling, you know. It is always communicating to you, so it's good to be aware and conscious of that. Another one is cultivating stillness and solitude. Stillness and solitude, hanging out in nature, swimming, going to the beach, being by yourself, you know, reading, writing. It cultivates some form of stillness within you, and that enables you to be able to listen to your body and your intuition more, because your intuition is also your inner mind, but your intuition is also God's way of talking to you. So, you know, listen to that more and you'll be able to understand what is being said to you without having to be told with words. Lastly, clear reading. When it comes to energy, okay, we can also misperceive what we are reading energetically, and this is due to judging, okay? Judging, assuming, you know, those things can cloud the reading that you're trying to have. So be aware of that. When you are reading energy, observing it without having any feelings, without having any input of your opinion, will allow you to be able to read energy well and clearer. Okay, so think about that when you're reading energy. Another thing as well, energetically, energy is everywhere. It's a feeling kind of language, okay, which makes it beautiful. Try and see what it's be like to speak less, listen and feel more into your environment, into your conversations, okay? See what you can get from that, okay? Another thing is this. Although it's good to listen to what people are saying, listen to what they're not saying as well, okay? And see what that does for you. All right, so this is me, Vivian. Thank you for listening, and we will see each other next time. Bye.